Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding person with us this morning, Sergeant First Class Derrick Moore. Good morning, Derrick.
Good morning.
I mentioned Derrick, but Derrick is in the military, and he's been in the military for how many years, Derrick?
27.
27 years. So he's a Sergeant First Class and the logistical specialist, and he's going to tell us all about that, and I will be learning right along with my listening audience. Derrick, Lake County is approximately 750 to 800,000 people, but I don't know how many up this Sunday morning listening to the program, but I understand we have a pretty good audience listening. I served in the Army also, was a little in the Korean conflict. And I remember distinctly when I had to, when the cadreman, when we had our training, would say, "Are you ready on the left and you ready on the right? We're ready on the firing line." I never forget that, you know. So Sergeant First Class Moore, we're ready on the firing line. I'd like for you to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
I am from my personal background. I am from a little small town, Waynesboro, Mississippi, outside of Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Okay.
And I grew up there for like 20. I think I left home at like about 21, 22 years old. And as I grew up there, working with my father. Probably the only other job that I had was he was a brick mason, and he's 81. As a matter of fact, he still is in that profession today.
Wow.
Yes. So as I left home, I ventured out and to find myself and find my journey. I stumbled upon a recruiter and I went to the military. So as I went to the military, I joined the military, and they put me in the logistical field, and I've been working in the logistical field for 27 years.
Wow.
Yes. So also, as I stayed in the military, as far as education-wise, I earned my management degree.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went on to get my business administration, and the latest is I obtained my MBA, Master of Business in concentration in human resources.
Mm-hmm. So actually, being in the military is more than just on the line. There's many opportunities for education in the military.
Absolutely. It is. It's a lot of educational programs, and the educational program is so broad and so vast. I mean, you can learn your job, which translate into the civilian sector. You get a job in the civilian world if you decide to come out early. Mm-hmm. They do professional certificates. They do in the medical field. You know, every field you can name of the Army have the most programs than any other service that there is. So many educational programs.
I remember one of my duties before I retired was counseling in a program called Project Transition. What happened, we were counseling military people prior to 6 months prior to separation from the service, and really was geared to the serviceman that didn't have any training.
Correct.
That we would give them a half a day off to go and train with companies. And companies welcomed that because that was free labor, too. Right. But they would train them there, and but with the budget cuts and so forth, then the military just cut that program out. Right. But it was a great program that for them. Now, what qualifications that was necessary to be successful in the military? So
to join or be successful. Okay, from high school. Okay,
let's start off by.
Well, you have to be between the age of 17 and 35, first of all, to join. Number one.
17, 30, okay.
And number two, you have to either have a high school diploma or a GED.
Okay.
and also be in a good physical condition. They will give you a physical. And number 4, you have to be a U.S. citizen of the United States or have a green card. And that's it. That's the 4 things. Also, you have to pass. Of course, you got to pass. It's almost like you got an ACT and a SAT. We call ours the ASVAB. It's the same thing. You got to be able to make a certain score on that test. And those are all the qualifications you have to have.
Now, you've been in the military for 27 years, but what account for your success to have a successful career in the military?
I was surrounded by good leaders.
Okay.
To raise me. I think that I recognize authority and discipline because the upbringing that I had with my father and my 2 grandfathers. I recognize they meant business, and then when it translated to the military, I knew they meant business. Instead of me getting to my feelings, I knew that it was pretty much about caring. They paid attention and they cared for you, but at the same time, they meant business. And I think that's what accounted for my success in the military. And, I feel like if I can make it, I made it yesterday, I can make it today. So that accounted for my success in the military.
This is a great opportunity for youngsters in high school to join the military, but like you said, the proper attitude, and they can get their education while serving in the military.
Serving in the military, and it's free at that. So I did it while I was in the military. When I the 3 degrees I have, I was in the military when I obtained those degrees. Matter of fact, sometimes they'll let you off from work through the week and say, hey, okay, if you do your job, we'll let you off 1 to 2 days a week so you go get your class knocked out. So it's a great opportunity if you don't want to incur debt, like, people paying student loan for 30, 40 years. The balance of my student loan is 0 from day one. 0. It's 0. Your medical benefits, the balance of, I haven't had a medical bill in 27 years.
Okay.
So, it have a lot of opportunities to it. So, it does.
Your home of record then and now, what's the difference? And I mention that because after 27 years, you're going to be thinking about retirement pretty soon. And tell us about, would you be considering going back to your hometown near Hattiesburg, Mississippi, or you've had a chance to go all over the world to see different locations? Compare your home of record to a place that you like to retire in.
Well, home of record, where I grew up, it's not a lot there, but it is. It's all, to me, you have to see it for what it is. So for the last 15 years, I wanted to retire in Charlotte, North Carolina, where my wife is from.
Oh.
But, as things happen, recently I went home in April and visited my parents. And I realized that the same place I ran from is the same place I'm trying to get back to.
Oh.
So I want to go near where I grew up, but I'd rather go to the Hattiesburg area.
Okay.
I want to be close to my parents, because I want to give them their flowers while they live.
Okay.
So,
fantastic.
So recently, I've asked the Army to relocate me back home, and they said that they would on one condition, is I put in a retirement, and it took me 1 minute to say yes. So I should be going back home soon. So hopefully by November, me and the wife will be back in Mississippi. Now she's not from there, but hopefully that I'll be back in Mississippi. Yes.
Well, you're a Sergeant First Class. Was there a long road to being a Sergeant First Class?
Yes, absolutely. Um, Sergeant first class for me. I don't think it's about the rank. It's about the experience.
Okay.
You come across one of my mottos is, a lot of people got a lot of great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but it don't mean nothing without experience. Basically, just a great idea,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because experience always trumps a great idea because it might not be a great idea depending on the situation. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Also, you are logistics specialist.
Right.
Tell us about the logistics.
Well, logistics is a very broad area, which before I moved here out of DC, I obtained my logistical certification. Logistics is more about, we could start in one area, so many different areas. You can't even cover them all. We could say warehousing and inventorying, inventorying a warehouse. How do we get this product from one place to another? Are we going to do it by rail? Are we going to do it by air?
Okay.
Are we going to do it by water? Are we going to do it by land? Those are the four modes of transportation. And then you have to think about the acquisition, the contracting, and the procurement side of the house. You may have to do a contract. Then you got a budget for it. You got to say how much money do we want to pay the less amount or the most effective. Now, if we need it right now, we're going to pay whatever. But if we don't need it right now, we're going to, it's so much about logistics that you can do. Everything in this room right here is logistics because some kind of way you had to get it transported here. You had to buy it. You know what I mean? You got a pen in your hand. It's everything in this room is logistics. Matter of fact, this whole building is logistics. How did we build it? And we cover all those avenues and, how to make daily operations functional.
Now, how much training is required, or is it continual training?
Continuous.
Okay.
I'm continually training. I'm still training in logistics. Sure am to today. Yes, I absolutely am.
I was in the quartermaster when I was in the military. I don't know how I didn't volunteer for it, I guess.
Right. You was quartermaster. Okay, logistics on the quartermaster too.
Yeah, I was in Busan, Korea for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
I was the chief clerk in the 55th Quartermaster Depot. Things linger with you, all your life,
Right.
But and I was located in a 73rd Tank Battalion. I never got inside of a tank.
Me either.
But I was the chief clerk for the battalion.
Right.
So we had it. My whole career was Korean.
Oh, wow.
From the time I left training. Now you so logistics actually is your whole line of work then since you've been in the military has been
Correct.
Logistics, right?
Logistics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
You volunteer for it, or did they?
No, I didn't know. I just wanted to just get in at that particular time. I just wanted to get in the military, and I qualified for it. And the recruiter said this is a good field to get into. So that's what I did with no thought. I was young at the time. I had no guidance, but I just wanted to get in, and whatever it took to get in, that's what I did.
And you never regret it, though. It is.
No.
It's a great
Absolutely.
field.
Yeah, it's a great field. It's a great field.
It can relate to civilian employment.
Absolutely.
Too,
yeah. That MOS, that specialty, that job, you can get a job without having a degree. That's one of the bigger, there are many write-ups about that. That's one job. You can get a job when you get out without a degree.
Experience is the
experience. Now, don't get me wrong. I have 3 degrees, but my grandfather always pushed me to stay in school.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that's what I did. I wasn't going to leave the military without a degree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wish more of our youngsters, we have such a high dropout rate in high school. I wonder why do we have such a high dropout rate?
I think dealing with the young soldiers that I deal with, I think growing up, I had a work ethic. You didn't have a choice.
Okay. Okay.
You know, you know, if my motto is bring it every day, and I think about my dad. My dad had 5 kids, and he was the only one working, and he would bring it every day. Then when I'm a twin. I have a twin brother. I'm Derrick, and I have a twin brother named Eric.
Is he military too?
No, he's not military.
Okay.
So we had to work every day, but through working, and that's all I done, just work, and I think the younger generation, if you in your home, what you see in your home, more than likely, most of the time, not all the time, not all cases, that's what you always pretty much do. You'll be able to relate to it. You just didn't sit around just doing nothing through the whole week. 7 days a week, there was some type of work. And so you don't have to, you learn to be functional on your own, so you don't have to depend on nobody else. And it's not about independence. It's just about going out working, making a living, So young generation, they dropping out because they have no hope. You got to have hope. And especially a man or a male, he have to have mostly 2 things, something to do, you got to have hope. Got to have hope every day. Yeah, that's what I think.
In the military, and I guess civilian too, but especially military, timeliness is so important.
Absolutely. You want to be on time most of the time. Pretty much, on the average, you want to be on time. General Custer lost the war because he wasn't on time. He was late for the war. And he lost the war because he wasn't on time. Instead of them ambushing, they got ambushed.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we talk about, timeliness, be on time. So because you won't get in trouble in the Army if you be where you're supposed to be, on time.
Okay.
Do what you're supposed to do. You'll be all right. You'll
Okay.
be all right. Okay. And you'll be covered. Okay. Be where you're supposed to be, on time, and do what you're supposed to do.
We mentioned about dropout rate for, it's high in high schools, but I think guidance in the schools is a key too, right?
Yes.
Proper guidance.
But I would say guidance before the school, guidance in the home first. Because if I get a kid that I'm teaching and I'm giving him guidance and he's already 15, that's a hard nut to crack.
Okay.
So now don't get me wrong. Guidance in the school is very important. Very important. It's just you got to be willing. You got to be willing to be receptive for that guidance. If you're receptive, then it'll work out. It'll be okay. So it's so important. Guidance anywhere is so important. Because me growing up, I had guidance, but some areas I didn't. I didn't have guidance because I didn't know what to do, because in that local area, some of the like church people or even at home, maybe they didn't know because they never experienced, like nobody in my family never experienced being in the military.
Okay.
So, but I was able to stumble across some great leaders, and they picked me up along the way. Napoleon Hill said something. Most people don't continue their journey in life because they don't have what they need. But he told them to go ahead and take the journey, and you'll pick up those tools along the way. Yeah.
Okay. What's unique about the different branches of service, unique about the Army from the Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps? You didn't have a choice, right?
I had a choice.
You did have a choice.
I did have a choice. I had a choice to join either branch, and I didn't know anything about either branch.
Okay.
It's gonna be funny. The branch I picked was the one that could tell me I could leave the soonest.
Okay.
So, I was supposed to go Air Force, which I think is a better branch than all of them. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the technology and the schooling that the Air Force gives
Okay.
But the Army have the most jobs. That's why the Army is so bigger than any branch.
Mm-hmm.
And the Navy, I'm just not learning about the Navy. I can't tell you too much. I'm not going to speak on something I can't tell you about. But these 4 years I've been here, I have respected the Navy so much in the way they do business.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't speak on the Marines either.
Now you're stationed, no? You're stationed Fort Sheridan? No?
I am. I'm in Fort Sheridan.
Okay.
And we have Marines and Navy over there also. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So because you got to realize after post 9/11, all the branches them came together almost as one and working with each other a little bit more in the last 18 years. So
it's very important.
It's been a great experience with the working with all these branches.
Mm-hmm.
Great experience.
What about family life? I know I know one. I retired from Great Lakes Naval Base, but as a civilian. And as a director of housing, I came in contact with a lot of servicemen, Navy people, divorcing because of separation of family.
Mm-hmm.
That's one uniqueness about the Navy, separation of family, because they have to go out to sea,
Right.
maybe 6 months at a time or whatever, But what about family life in the Navy? I mean, the Army. Not so much a separation of family because of.
Well, I've seen that a lot. After post 9/11, a deployment for me was 18 months, which was 545 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long time to be away from your family.
Yeah.
So I don't know about all the other branches, but I know the Army cut it down to 9 months, so you won't be gone so long from your family. And it's a high divorce rate. It could be a high divorce rate.
Yeah.
That's why you have so many off days to be with your family, because when you're away, they don't want you to be away long you won't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong, family life in the military is to me is a great life, because you have a sense of security, and those around you pretty much gonna be your family. Your next door neighbors, they know you in the military. They know you ain't supposed to be committing no crime out here.
Okay.
Most of the time they want family to look after family because they know you're in the military. It's a great life. It's a great life, and I'm gonna miss it. But sometimes you gotta go.
Now you mentioned that you're gonna miss. Now tell us about what is your ultimate goal?
I was looking at that question. My ultimate goal. That's a good question, because here's what I'm gonna say about my ultimate goal.
Okay.
I know that I'm gonna have so many opportunities when I get out, even if I go to Mississippi.
Okay.
My ultimate goal is to just go in the civilian world and work and help somebody. If enable one young individual, just to let them know that that life ain't as hard as you think it is. Now, I'm not going to encourage no one to join the military now. I'm just going to encourage them to do something with their life and be a good citizen and a good model in the community. Because I think is the most important thing is strong communities and and loving our neighbor. That's my goal. Love my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is fantastic. Because financially, there's no problem, whether it's North Carolina or Mississippi or where. 27 years in the military, you have prepared yourself for the future.
Absolutely, because here's the thing about the military: if you don't know anything about finance, you're gonna get it right, because the military and your leaders, they're gonna teach you about finances, and then you stay a long career. You're gonna be taken care of pretty well. I promise you that you're gonna take care, and then you're gonna learn how to be a good steward over everything you do, not just your finances, but your life. Your home life. Because good stewardship, especially in my field, is that's what our main goal is: stewardship. We have to be a good steward over everything we do.
Okay.
Whether it's your kids, your wife, even your friends. Just be a good steward with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Sergeant First Class Derrick Moore. He's a logistics specialist in the United States Army, and we've been talking about his life in the military. Now, his military is coming to an end soon. He's 27 years in the Army, and he's thinking about retirement and thinking about the area that he like to retire in. It's great that your Sergeant First Class Moore, that your family is still living in that area of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, right?
Right. Well, below Hattiesburg, right?
Below. You gave us Hattiesburg to give us an idea about where your home of record is.
Right.
I was born in Lexington, and Lexington is, about 80 miles north of Jackson.
Okay, near the Delta.
Yeah. So, but I didn't, of course, I didn't choose that for a retirement area because I left that when I was, about 8 months old.
Right.
It got too hot for me. 8 months old. I was kidding. But I was raised in East St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you're probably familiar with East St. Louis and Fort Leonard Wood.
Yes, absolutely.
Right outside of St. Louis. But Sergeant First Class Moore has been telling us all about life. And if anyone is interested in joining the military, who would they contact? I mean, how?
Go to your local recruiter.
Okay.
There's local recruiters on many different streets. All you gotta do is go to your local recruiter, or they can contact me, and I could get them to a local recruiter. And phone number is 443-635-9510.
Fantastic. And last but not least, it's not purposely designed to have it the last, but church activity. How important is church activity? I know I saw you at the First Corinthian Baptist Church recently, and I think your wife was a master of ceremonies at a program there. I think it was the choir anniversary.
Right.
Right. And you were right there.
Yeah.
Giving her support.
Absolutely.
I thought that was great. And we just happened that we ran up on each other at a restaurant. And I said, well, I think I better get this young man on my program. I've been seeing you quite a bit, and a great support of family and church and so forth. But church is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I was coming up in church, no matter what your religion is, I learned something. One thing about church activity, no matter what your religion is, everybody's still we do it a different way, but we still got the same common goal, and that is to get to heaven.
Okay.
So church activity, me having church activity, most people go there. The ultimate thing is to be saved.
Okay.
So somebody is looking for help. That's why you go to church. Either you're looking for help or you're trying to help somebody. So absolutely, yeah, church activities is good. And then also church activities also teaches a great work ethic because, you can bond with people and establish a relationship with people and break bread and fellowship. It is church activity is so dynamic because so much going on. And then, that's where I got my teaching and help from.
Yeah, because church is more than just a building.
Absolutely.
You described it. What is? Well, I like to just end the program with talk about you as, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. And I have to put you in the category of great minds because you have great ideas.
I think.
Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to be with us on Community Focus. And I'm sure our listening audience have enjoyed your promulgating information to our public. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.